As a bit of a challenge, I'm only giving myself 20 rough seconds to show you the results of this method. Now, if you look here in my Phantom wallet, I have got over $500,000, and that is not through trading. That is a sucker's game. I don't trade anymore. I dev, and I dev well. And this video is going to show you the method that will allow you to stack cash. This video is for educational purposes only. I am not a financial advisor. Your capital is still at risk. I'm just here to explain how the process works. So you've stuck around long enough, and I think it's time to reward you with the method for this deving coins trick. Okay, but first we're going to have a quick look at this timeline for this coin here, and as you can see, like with most coins, it's very, fluctuating. It's up and down. There's loads and loads of sort of change and variable in the value of this coin. And looking at this here, this is over the course of 12 days. It's kind of difficult to know exactly when is the best time to buy and sell, and I know that's the game. All right, well, I know I'm sort of teaching you to suck eggs here, but the reason why I'm saying this is because it doesn't have to be that way. You can actually dev a coin and you will make tons of money in a fraction of the time because you're letting everybody else do the work for you. You don't have to wait these massively long periods of time. Okay, now let's look at some of the top traders here. I mean, these guys, the thing is with the top traders on any coin, you're going to notice this pattern. They're going to have all this P&L right in the green all the time. Like, they've never dipped to red. They've hardly ever made a loss. Now, sure, some of that might be market research, some of that might be just luck, but a lot of it is knowing the devs and knowing when the coins are going to go up and down. So we are going to make sure we are the devs. We are going to launch our own coin, and the best part is it just uses a little bit of Solana and there's no coding required. Okay, we can launch our own coin on createcoin.fun. That is the platform we are going to use to launch our own coin. Okay, there is no coding required, only a bit of Solana, and then you are done. Okay, now before we get into the method of how this works, there is one more thing I wanted to discuss, and that is the markets. Okay, so most coins, when they're made, they get launched onto Pump, and Pump used to be good back in the day, but now it's just full of shit coins. That's the problem. If you launched your coin, there would be 15,000 other coins that would launch at the exact same time, and it's just going to get lost in all the noise. Look at these market caps. They're not very huge, and these are the ones that make it, the ones that make it, and they hardly get past, 2K, 3K. I mean, some burst into the tens of Ks, but that's the really rare exception. I'm now switching over on Axiom to the Matora market using Dynamic, and this is a much better market to be in. I mean, look at this, 4.7 billion on this coin here. Most coins are in the 200 odd Ks, and a lot of them are in the billions or even the millions, and even quite a few get in the hundreds of millions. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up the Phantom wallet. You can see here we've got just over $100. That is the recommended amount I would suggest for you to have in there. If you've got your Phantom wallet already registered on your browser, it will detect it automatically. Now, if we were going to launch our own coin, we'd pop a name, we'd pop a symbol, we'd grab an image, and then we would do some marketing, and we'd tell our friends to buy this coin, and it would be great. And then they would buy the coin, and then we would make like a couple of cents, and then we'd call it a day. Isn't that fun? But we're not going to do that. What we're going to do is we are going to click the copy trending tab. Now, this tab here is a special tool that is used by createcoin.fun to find the pump coins, so coins that are on pump that are doing really well, and then we simply make a copy and put it onto the Matora market. And that means that on the Matora market, you'll have all the hype of the coin that's already done well, but with the extra space that the Matora market provides, because there's nowhere near as many shit coins being uploaded to that market. So you can refresh here to have a look at some of the other coins, and we can just see here you've got the names, you've got the potential market caps, and the last time they were paired. So you can use that information to find a good coin for you. Most of these coins will do the job just fine. This has got 1.4 million market cap. I'm going to copy this one. What will happen is your Phantom wallet will come up with this request blocked initially, so you got to make sure you click proceed, then you got to click confirm, and then you have to tick a box and then click yes, confirm. This is a normal part of the process. I do this every single time because I set these up from scratch, so you will have to do this as well, but it's just a normal part of the process. Do not worry. Okay, so we'll click through that, and now we get to the point where we have created our token, but we need to give it some liquidity to get it going on the market. Okay, if it's at the moment we have a token, but it's not worth anything. Okay, so you go into this create liquidity pool page, and as you can see, there's a few details on here. So you've got the name of it there, you've got the amount of tokens there, but the only value you are going to change is none of these ones up here, but instead you're going to change the amount of SOL. Okay, so this is now, you know, the amount of SOL that you want to put into the coin, and that's why I suggest having some money in the wallet. So we are going to put in roughly 0.2 SOL. That's the number I like to put in. That's what gets me the best results. You can put a bit higher or a bit lower. It's up to you, but frankly, 0.2 gets me the results I need every single time. So that's the one that I always use. Okay, so what we're going to do is once we put our SOL in, we are going to create the pool, confirm that transaction, and then our coin will be live and on market, and it will appear down here. There we are. So you can see the name of our coin there. You can see the amount of SOL, and you can see how many pooled tokens we've got, and our estimated value, right, which is at $15. Now we're going to hit this lightning bolt button here, and this is a special tool that is going to boost our token to the top of the trending charts on Dex Screener. So what this means is that when they have all those bots that are looking for the trending coins, they are more likely to find our coin first, and it only costs us 0.25 SOL, but we are going to make that money back and then some, as you will see later on. So make sure you do this. This is a very crucial part of the process. Okay, this has to be done, otherwise you're not going to get the results in any kind of reasonable time. Okay, you're just going to be like a regular dev, and that's not what we are. We're going to confirm that transaction. Now we are back here. So what we're going to do is have a quick look on Dex Screener. We will run Dex Screener for a bit, and then we will hop back and we will pull the liquidity later. So here we are. We've had our first update already. We're looking at nearly 30 traders. It's gone up to 50. Fantastic. Our liquidity, we're up at 1.2 thousand. And our market cap, you can see already, it's only been a few seconds, and we're already, you know, competing with most of those people on Pump. And again, they would have been an open coin for a long time. They'd have been on the market for several days, or maybe even a week, sometimes up to a month, you know, and they're hardly getting up to the market cap. So we're already at 3.8k, which is an incredible market cap to have in such a small amount of time, and that is the effect of the booster. Okay, so back to createcoin.fun. You can see we started off our estimated value at $15. We're going to refresh that here, and let's see. So now we are looking at, once this loads, 1.02k. All right, $1,020. That's coming from the $15 from earlier. That is an incredible jump up. Okay, so let's hit 100% on pulling the liquidity. We're going to remove that liquidity, and when we do, that's going to put all that money straight in our wallet. Now, if you want to win half of what I made in this video, which will be, let's have a quick look. Okay, so you could earn half of $1,000, like roughly $500. Make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a comment. And also, you better make sure you are trying out this method for yourself.